Today we're headed out to Monkey Moto in Argyle, Texas, and Monkey Moto is the MV Agusta Triumph dealer here in the DFW area. We're going to talk to Pedro about owning an MV Agusta, the buying experience, and basically just go through the whole process. That way you can understand from start to finish what it's like to deal with them directly. So we're about to jump in the truck to head to Monkey Moto, and we're going to talk about my 3 bikes on the way. So the nice thing about living in DFW is when it comes to cars and motorcycles, this is a major market. 2021, I heard of this company called MV Agusta. Now I've heard about it before, but it was just never on my radar. I've only owned at that point like Kawasaki, Yamaha, and there's a dealership called Monkey Moto, and I thought it was kind of a silly name because I'm like, why wouldn't it be called MV Agusta DFW, right? So I drove out here, and I was absolutely floored at the craftsmanship, the quality. I mean, they really are like, we always kind of joke and say they're like the Pagani of motorcycles, but they really are. So you'll find out they'll have a specific, you know, like a Brutale 1000, but then there's going to be a ton of special editions that are one-offs, and that's where you get into some really cool bikes, but you also get into some really expensive bikes really quick. There's a specific bike that I heard about middle of last year. A good friend of mine, Dylan, you guys may know him as Fastlane D on YouTube. He came over to the house, and it was kind of one of those impromptu things, and been out to the dealership before, but I'd never really thought about owning one of those bikes at that time. A Superveloce 1000 RR Serie Oro. It was like MSRP is like 74K. And I never really thought about it. I was like, it's cool, you know, and well, the Serie Oro came available. But Dylan had put me in touch with one of MV Agusta's reps. Anyway, we found the bike. I bought it actually from MV Agusta Los Angeles because the guys here at MV Agusta didn't have one because they didn't have the allocation yet. I think they had 2 or 3 coming in, but I wanted one. So I bought the bike, never ridden one. I don't think anyone had actually ever ridden one because you just bought it because there was such a limited number. So oddly enough, when the Serie Oro came, I had never ridden an MV Agusta. That video on Fastlane D's channel where we're like looking at it, well, it was the first time I'd seen the bike in person, and it was also the first time I had ridden it. But sometimes you buy bikes sight unseen and without riding them and hoping for the best. So the 3 bikes that I have, the more traditional, you know, motorcycle would be the F3 RC. So it's an 800cc 3-cylinder bike, so it's got a really cool note, sounds great, looks amazing. I had actually put a deposit on an F3 RR, and it's not exactly what I wanted. I put the deposit on the F3 RR. Well, just so happened that the RC came available. It's your more traditional motorcycle, single side swing arm, but the whole bike is carbon fiber. You know, I love riding 600s. I love riding 1000cc bikes, but I will tell you that that middleweight motorcycle, like your 750s, your 800s, man, it's like a perfect blend of power and agility, so it's like a perfect track weapon. So that F3 RC, you'll be seeing it more on the channel. That one's special. The Brutale 1000 RR and the Superveloce 1000 RR share the same engine, but they are quite a bit different in regards to the way they tune, the way they're geared. Is more of like a Street Fighter setup. It's a little bit more upright, not much. A slightly more upright position. It's, you know, naked Street Fighter. That one is the Assen edition, which is based off of that circuit over in Europe, but it has that blue and gold theme. I find myself actually riding that quite a bit. I really just got it because it was a special edition, but I didn't want to just put it in an office. I didn't want to just put it in the garage and look at it. I really like to ride these bikes. Now, the Serie Oro, I was really surprised. It's actually quite a bit heavier than we thought, But when you're looking at it, I mean, that whole first weekend, Dylan and I were laughing because when it came, it was the first time we had both seen one in person. But the whole motorcycle, again, is in carbon fiber. It's full fairing, but the rider position is very aggressive. If someone hadn't told me, I would think they were two completely different motorcycles. There's only a few different motorcycle manufacturers, right? So you go to a meet and you may see 4 or 5 or 6 different versions of the bike that you're on. Like when you go into a meet and I'm on my Superveloce 1000RR, everyone comes running around because A, they've never seen one in person, and there might only be 1 or 2 in Texas. I don't know exactly even how many are in the country in general. And it's really cool because it also allows me to talk about the motorcycles too, because they're so different looking. So we're about to pull in. Let me show you why MV Agusta, Monkey Moto / AGV Sport are so special.
Burton,
Good to see you, brother.
Absolutely.
welcome in
All right,
again.
it's one of my favorite
How we
places to
doing?
be. So, want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Pedro Alvarez. I'm the sales manager here at Monkey Moto with MV Agusta of Dallas. And we have different models right here, limited editions. At the current moment, we are being one of the top dealers of MV in the United States.
So obviously, I've got 3 MV Agustas myself, but I really wanted to just kind of bring you guys in just to kind of talk about the overall experience I've had at MV Agusta, Dallas, and then Monkey Moto. But then I wanted to talk to you about building the relationships, the process, if you're going to financing or pay cash, warranty, just things like that, because we talk about the motorcycles, but we don't really talk about the nuts and bolts, and I think that would be really good. I think as far as content, this would be a really good thing to talk about because I get these questions from you guys on Instagram and YouTube. So let's talk about it. And I'm going to bring Pedro in because he has the product knowledge and overall the experience. So how it all came to be with MV Agusta is Fastlane D, Dylan, came to my house last year just to talk about my motorcycle collection. And I hadn't really at that point thought about adding an MV Agusta, but at this point, I'm trying to add bikes that you don't typically see. So Art on Wheels is basically kind of like your guys' kind of like your trademark at this point. But there was a SV1000RR, the Series Oro, and it was getting ready to come out. And I had talked to Pedro about it, but they didn't have an allocation for it. So I actually had to contact a marketing rep through MV Agusta to find one. And there was one that was coming in that was already spoken for, but a person backed out, so I snuck in and got it. Now, I will say, if the guys here would have had the Series order for me, I would have bought it through them. But in this case, I had to go first come, first serve. So I got that through MV Agusta Los Angeles. They sent it here to get it all prepped and everything for me. When MV Agusta come out, those series, like those limited run bikes, they may not necessarily get an allocation for it, or if they do, they're already spoken for, because a lot of times you have to order these 5-6 months in advance, and they may get 2. So just getting some of these is pretty tough. I think you have one of the Rush models now that's available. I'll walk you guys over there and show you that, but that's another limited run, and it's just, I don't even know how you have that one right now, but it's just one of those things, they get them or they don't.
When it comes to the limited editions, they only make a limited number around the world. With the Superveloce 1000 Series Oro, it's only one time. So every Series Oro that comes from the MV motorcycles is only one time in life. They would not repeat that model on the rest of the time on the production from the manufacturer.
And I think that was 500 worldwide one time. So you do the math. That's like across the world, 500 is pretty tough. So that's why it was so hard to get.
Yeah, and in Europe, mostly, most of the manufacturing side is that in Europe and Italy, many people buy those collectionists, high collectionists, royalty family also too. If you get opportunity to go to a museum, you will see bikes that have the name of the royalty family too. When the time comes to it, you can special order as soon as MV Agusta advertise the bike. So we can special order, and also you got the opportunity as soon as you get out to order a specific number that you would like to have. On the United States, we have a couple customers that already pre-order before Burton decide to take the Series order.
Yeah, that's why I think it's good to have a relationship built, because if he knows I'm looking for something, he's gonna find it. I really was hot on the Brutale RR
1000RR Assen. It's the blue and gold and has the blue carbon fiber wheels. I wanted that bike so bad. I think you had 3 coming, and they were already spoken for. Person backed out. I took it. And the thing is, with these limited Russian edition bikes, it's a one-time deal. It's not like they continue to make these. And I really wanted it new, so I had it. I knew the miles that were going on it. But yeah, I really appreciate you making that happen.
Absolutely.
Of all the ones that I have, I think that the Brutale 1000RR is my favorite amongst my MV Agustas. So as a first-time buyer coming in, kind of like I was, what should the customer expect? What's the process like? Just say I'm just, random person coming in, Pedro, I want a motorcycle. What would that process look like?
So everything is going to depend on the customer experience with MV Agusta. For example, you already had knowledge what the brand is and what the brands can offer at the side with the models. And we have many people that have listened for you guys and have seen what you guys are done for the brand and how important it is, but they still want more information. So depending on the relationship with the customer is how you educate it and show them what MV Agusta have to offer.
So that comes down to maybe like what style of bike they want to do, what type of riding, what type of model, because you have a vast model range, but for you being the professional, you're going to steer them in the direction as far as what motorcycle makes sense for what they want.
On this case, basically, many people know exactly what model it is. The first thing is going to start to sit in one of the bikes, having the feel, how the ergonomics fits for the person, and how they like the bike, what colors and what specialties they're looking for, and then go through all the process, what horsepower, what the engine size, service intervals, and then we'll move to the next step.
Once you've identified a motorcycle that in theory meets their wants, their needs, riding style that they want, are you able to do test rides with MV Agusta?
So being a unique and unlimited brand, many places don't allow test ride by here on Monkey Moto and MV Agusta Dallas. We believe that you cannot buy a bike without test riding. And we have special models that are for demo, so you can come and test ride and have you test ride in the bike that you will like and you're interested on it.
That's important because, again, just like you said, a lot of times you don't test drive. And I will tell you, a lot of the motorcycles that I bought sight unseen or out of town, like all motorcycles have their, I want to say like their quirks, their mannerisms. And that's really important for you to learn, especially if you're more on the beginning side, what to expect, what to know, like, and expect. And I think that just goes to show your guys' customer service that you're actually going to allow them to ride the motorcycle that they're going to buy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, now we've identified the bike as a customer. We've done the test drive. I love it. So now I want to talk to you about a warranty.
So with MV Agusta warranty, you will have 3 years warranty, unlimited miles. Right now on 2025 models, they have been extended to 5 years. So you have 5 years unlimited miles warranty. Imagine how many miles you can do on that.
So 5 years, unlimited miles, which is amazing because a lot of your more known brand, I guess, they don't have anything like that. It's like 1 year and you can purchase an additional year warranty, not unlimited miles.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah.
Like in my case, we're out doing kind of a quicker paced ride and the oil cap, I think we had less than 150 miles on it, but the oil cap had rattled loose, whatever, things happen. Big mess, little problem, but I called you and the bike was picked up the next day.
Yep.
And you upgraded the oil cap and put like a CNC on there and you cranked it down with the Allen wrench so that it would never happen again, but you guys replaced the tire, really no questions asked. Like you just took care of it and then dropped the bike back off to me, which that would be customary for someone that may be in town, but I think maybe where some of the warranty questions and things have, I'm lucky because you guys are here.
Yeah.
So if someone may be, not necessarily in an MV Agusta market, I could see where there may be some frustration with that.
That's correct. Being an MV Agusta company that builds 3,000 to 5,000 motorcycles a year worldwide, the dealership network is not the biggest one, but the connection between dealerships is really good. We all dealerships know each other and know what everybody has to offer. The experience when it comes to the manufacturer and when you have a problem is basically that. You don't have a dealership that can rely on you, and you're scared that it's going to be really expensive because it's a really limited edition special bike when it's not. Normally, you will have really affordable prices when it comes to service or any problems that you will have, and the warranty will cover everything. Also, I've seen cases and customers that their warranty has been expired, and manufacturer says, you know what, I'm gonna cover that because I feel that that's something that we have to cover for the customer. So they're really, really open to listen, and any problems that happen is just
So maybe something was missed, is what I'm hearing. Maybe
Correct.
something was missed during the warranty. You may take it by case scenario, just to do the right thing for the customer.
correct.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's our premium brand. Is if you don't know much about the brands of motorcycle, and it's the first time for you guys to see this video and learning about this content, that basically that's the Pagani of the motorcycle. These are bikes that are handcrafted. You will see the signature of the person that built the engine that day on the manufacturer, and also you will have a hand signed letter that everybody that work, even on the little stitchings on the seat, make a big difference on that.
That's the difference. Is there's a pride there. I feel like the people that are building the motorcycle, there's a pride there. They're putting their name on it. It's pretty special. I will say, like, of the 3 bikes I own, I've got the kits. It's just cool. It's just an added touch that just makes it that much more special, and just makes you feel like you're part of something, not just transactional. It's more relational. There is that overall feeling that I've had working with you, and also MV Agusta Los Angeles. What if someone has a trade-in? How would that work if I had a trade-in? Does it have to be an MV Agusta? Does it have to be an Italian brand? Tell me a little bit about that.
So it is beautiful how MV Agusta take care of their customers. They have something that they call the loyalty program. If you're an MV Agusta owner, you will have automatically discounts on the next motorcycles. At the moment, it's $2,500, even if you trade or not trade. So depending on the value you buy, we will add that. If you have any other Italian bikes, they're giving you $1,500 extra for those motorcycles, and it's an Italian upgraded to 500, so you're getting a total of $2,000. Let's say you want to change a Ducati, trade in a Ducati. We will take it as a trade-in, absolutely, and we will add $2,000 on the value of your bike, which is currently doing on the stage, miles, and many checks that we do on the bike.
So we are fortunate that we're here at the, are you the largest MV Agusta dealership in the country?
So
Volume?
we are the one that have the most inventory on the floor at the moment.
That's good. Why don't we take a look at it, Hughes?
Absolutely, let's go. Let's take a look at it.
Cool. So this is a MV Agusta Brutale 1000 RR Rush model. So if you've seen mine as the blue, that's the Ascent edition. This is basically the Rush model. He can probably tell you some of the differences, but this is one of those special bikes. What's the retail on this one?
These bikes start at $50,098. So basically, the difference in between this one and the Ascent that you own is going to be the clip bars and the different colors.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
When you come to the Rush, you will have an adapted headlight, electronic suspension, carbon fiber all over around, different tires, cruise control, launch control, Alcantara seats. So for example, if you get a quick...
Yeah, come check this out. I think one of the coolest
right
things.
here.
So the theme of this motorcycle has definitely a snake theme. So if you look at the Alcantara seat, it's got the kind of the snake scales. And then you got the Rush emblem. And
Correctly.
is that a decal then with clear coat, or is that painted?
So that's painted, and also they call it the Mamba.
Yeah, the
it was
Mamba,
a previous model done before in previous year, and right here you can see the plaque of the limited edition.
So this is number 48 of 300.
That's correct.
So very limited edition run. And then this one comes with the carbon fiber disc on the back wheel, which I think is pretty cool.
So the wheel hub cover is going to be carbon fiber. Also, you can see matching the colors, and it have a couple difference on the tail, on the end. When it comes to the Ascent, it's a little bit more round, and it looks like the Serie Auto that you basically have right now.
Mm-hmm. You want to pop over to the F3? I think this is. So obviously I have an F3 as well, but mine's the RC. The RC. So yeah, I mean overall, just so it's 3 cylinders. It's 800.
140 horsepower.
140 horsepower.
Launch
which
control,
is big.
cruise control, quick shifter, and the carbon fiber on the side. The bike weighs less than 500 pounds, even full of gas. And it's beauty. You've ridden it yourself, and it's amazing.
It's quick shift up and down.
Correct.
The launch control's cool. If you don't have that, it's something that just, just getting out of the hole, it definitely helps. Retail, where does this fall in line?
So normally this bike is starting at $27,000. Right now we have a promotion on these motorcycles on $19,998.
That's pretty good. What year is this?
This is a 2023 model.
So this is a 2023. So this is one of those bikes that's kind of lingering out there, so there's a substantial discount on it. This is an absolute track weapon. I've got a few track days coming up, so I think this next weekend I've got already got my ZX6R set up. But I think the following one, which one is at Crescent? I think I'm going to take my F3 RC and we'll talk about that one. But as far as bang for your buck, this is a cool bike. It's a perfect blend of, do you want a 600? Do you want a 1000? That 800 just fits right in there. So just imagine like a souped up 600. It just feels nimble, great track weapon. I can't stress, I know we're an MV Agusta, but this is just a great motorcycle that's in between.
Also, you just kill a debate that is being around about the speed or what's the top speed of these bikes the other day.
So I was on a closed circuit, and I topped out at it just 180. It topped at 180. So yeah, it's plenty.
It's plenty power for a
Plenty
little
powerful,
800.
yeah.
You think that it's 800 is not going to be fast? Burton can make it fast.
Yeah, so that 180 top is perfect. Let's talk about this one as an MV Agusta. This is a Superveloce 800, correct?
Correct. This is the 800. The 800, the F3 shares the same exact engine, different tuning, 140 horsepower at the same time. As he mentions, all these modifications on this bike, if you look around, go to my website, you will see all the modifications have been done by us. Our service department, parts department have worked together to find all the parts. Most of the parts come straight from Italy, which are handcrafted. And we put everything together. When it comes to the warranty does not get affected. The beauty of these motorcycles, you can change the slip-ons and you can put everything all over around. The warranty does not get affected for it.
So if you're hearing that correctly, usually once you start putting exhaust on, warranty's out the window. So with them, it doesn't affect it. So they're standing behind their product.
So, for example, your bike, you have something that the people think with MV Agusta, you got the box on the back, and people think that is the catalytic converter, which is just not. The catalytic converter is on there.
Yeah.
Yep, it's on the header, so whatever you change on the backside, the bike will sound beautiful. I don't know if you guys have here his Siri Auto, but
I'll make sure we get that in the clip. Yeah.
Yep. Also, if, for example, you buy a used bike and the bike still have warranty from manufacturer, it's still transferable. So you have to...
Years and unlimited miles.
That's correct.
Okay, so there's no stipulation in there.
That's correct.
So as far as this goes, do you guys do a once-over? Is it like a certified pre-owned? How does that work with MV Agusta?
So for certified pre-owned, normally the miles have to be lower. This bike right now have 10,000 miles. It doesn't look like
Wow,
people
it's pretty good for 10,000 miles. It looks great. Okay.
Yeah, so when people thinking, oh, it's going to break down or something, if you do your proper maintenance, you can do 10,000 miles on the bike, it's still going to ride and be properly done. Yeah, so on this customer, he's a consignment right now at the moment. He's debating between getting completely on, so he have it for sale at the moment. Okay. We have other bikes, used bikes, for example, the F4. The F4 is a 312, was one of the first motorcycles that did 312 kilometers per hour on Nürburgring.
I would love for them to come out with the new version of an F4. I still think, even though it's 2008, I still think this bike, I mean, design, styling, it holds, I mean, it fits. Basically, the thing is, it doesn't look antiquated. I mean, that's an older bike. I don't know how many miles this has, but this bike's in great. Yeah, okay, so it's in great condition. And styling-wise, it fits with everything else. It doesn't look like it's 2008 at all. I think the cool thing with this is got the quad exhaust coming out the back. So I feel like the Brutale's kind of a little hat tip to that. So on my Siri Oro, it's kind of cool. It has a kind of an old fighter jet engine motorcycle look to it. It's got an old retro vibe. Like, I don't know the styling. It kind of looks like it's kind of has an airplane vibe to it, and I think there was a reason for that.
So the aerodynamics, making sure the bike balance is beautiful. At the same time, they wanted to keep with the Siri Auto one of the most winning bikes back in the days. For MV Agusta, they have 37 titles on different bikes. They're not racing on MotoGP at this moment, but before they used to race a lot. And that bike had like exact color and exact look. So they just modernized it and make it a basically Neo Cafe racer.
Yeah, Neo Cafe. That's kind
Neo
of
Cafe. That's basically the term that
people. It's split. Like they love it, or they're like, I don't know, it's not for me. But once I feel like you learn the history of it, and it makes sense when it has kind of a Neo Cafe racer. Once you learn that, you're like, okay, that makes sense. Because some people don't love the single headlight on the front. Kind of has a submarine, old kind of fighter look to it. But I think that's on purpose. It's a Neo Retro, like you said.
Yeah. The Neo Cafe Racer, all the Cafe Racers are going to have only one headlight on the front fairing. But when you make a Neo, basically you make it modernized and make it have a look of the jet style, having the better wind.
So before I even knew anything about MV Agusta, whenever I buy a motorcycle, one of the first things that I do is I swap out the windscreen. I take the rear fender,
Delete.
delete the rear fender. They're all a little bit different, but you know the manufacturer has to, by law, has to have the turn signals and everything picks off the back. So with me, I swap out the windscreen. I take off the
Passenger pegs.
the passenger pegs. I take off the mirrors. I like to switch mine to Rizoma, and I like to do a fender delete. That should be a good start. And I like to think with mine, I kind of told you, like, these are the things that I want, and you just kind of built it into the deal.
When you're looking for aftermarket parts, we have a really big variety, and we are dealer for most of the manufacturers that make aftermarket parts for MV Agusta. Kristen is my parts manager. Normally, she will find the parts for you. She will send you quotes. She will tell you exactly what the cost is gonna be. Most of the parts come from MV Agusta and other Italian manufacturer companies that make it. For example, CNC.
Yeah, CNC
is a really big thing, and we are dealer about it. Whatever parts you would like to use. For example, I can show you right here, we just received a experimental process that we are on it, and that's part what makes us big with MV Agusta, which is a full system, titanium, for normally Brutale. You can take a look at the weight of that. I can hold this with only one field.
Yeah, this titanium, it weighs basically nothing. I mean,
so that tells you an idea. You can take a look in person what basically it will do to your motorcycles. We got MV Agusta helmets that just came out. It's a partnership that they did with Alpenstar, and they have those options right here. We have all the parts and accessories. We can get you a quote. We can build on the financing. You can pay out a packet. That will be basically the decision.
For me, it's like, why wouldn't you do that? Because you can then take your money and invest it into something. Because all I ever hear, this is kind of like where you talk about financing a bike. You hear some people saying, oh, it's a toy, just cash, you know, this and that. But if you're getting 0%, I would take the 0% all day. So I think on my Brutale Asin, I did the 0% for 3 years because it made sense.
You got everything that you want on your bike. Is being installed by an experienced person, an experienced technician that is going to make sure that everything is installed properly.
And then one thing I think we didn't talk about is the first interval. I think I'm coming up on a couple of mine. It's 600 miles, correct?
600 miles, that's
correct. The proper break-in. Every bike's a little bit different. But 600 miles, you guys will come in, you'll make sure everything's properly torqued, change the fluids, and then from there, what's the next intervals?
So it's going to be 7,500 miles.
7,500 miles, guys.
Or 1 year, whichever.
Or 1 year. So I think most people probably don't ride that 7,500, but that's, again, usually a lot of motorcycles, 3,000. There's a lot of value there is what I'm trying to say. Yes, I like MV Agusta, and I'm not affiliated with them, but you're just going to find that a lot of the misconceptions with them is that the warranties are terrible and there's going to be a service nightmare. It's not the case.
No, it's not at all. It's not at all.
So MV Agusta was acquired by KTM, or there was some type of an agreement? How does that work? Because I know that KTM's having problems, but automatically people in the comments were like, don't buy MV Agusta because we're going out of business. But I don't think MV Agusta had anything to do with KTM's financial issues. It was more just kind of them maybe growing too fast. I'm not exactly sure, but maybe you could talk about that because I think that's another misnomer, and I just want to leave it at that so people have the confidence when they buy the MV Agusta that the bike's gonna, that the brand's still gonna be around. Right?
No, it is a gray area when you talk about when it comes to the separation with KTM and MV, but the facts that manufacturers have transferred to us, basically we don't have to worry about anything. It's been also a great success since KTM dropped MV Agusta. Why? Because they have learned all the process that a big company like KTM have done, like the part networks have gotten better. The parts have reduced immensely on the price because they have different or adopt different big company manufacturer processes to make everything easy for everybody.
So it streamlined MV Agusta while that relationship was going along.
Absolutely. They learn a lot and they grow so much, and right now they have they are on a position that they are better than before. So they're growing and they're coming with basically better limited editions, and it shows you the way for them to show you is 5 years warranty, making sure that you don't want to have any problem on it.
I appreciate your time, Pedro. Is there anything else you want to?
Come and visit us. If you want to have a really nice experience with MV Agusta, we can show you everything that comes with the bikes. Test ride it. I would recommend you highly. Have the feel, the adrenaline, and the experience to ride a unique motorcycle. That will give you a touch of what these bikes can do or what they can be. Any questions, you can contact us here at Monkey Moto, MV Agusta of Dallas. You can check our website, monkeymoto.com.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe below. If there's anything else that you want to see on this channel, I'm leaving it up to you. Obviously, we've got a few things planned, but if there's anything you want to see that you're not seeing on other channels, please let me know. I want to make this to where we deliver on what you want. This whole channel came to be from me being guests on other channels and you guys being like, you need your own YouTube channel. Well, I listen, so I implement. So again, if there's anything out that you want to see, any bike specific stuff, let me know and we'll make sure we add it. Thanks again. We'll be seeing you soon.